Hello, guys. I am breaking my initial silence. How are you guys doing? Okay. Beardo is letting me out of the closet, if you will, where he keeps me. Go to Beardo Speaks YouTube to learn about that. And he's allowing me to do a live. So one night only, I am not being submissive. Just kidding, guys. So, Visible Dreams Only, hello, Drewski, Jorn Lelouch, Natsudia, hello, guys, Maps, Cass, Shiva, of course, Asif, and of course, Visible Dreams Only. Did I get you? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here on my live. What is the latest with you guys? What stage are you at in your love life? Okay. Have you looks maxed so hard that you're having a whole different set of problems to what you used to have? Are you struggling with, I'm thinking about 1,000 things you could be struggling with, okay? Is there anything about women lately where you've just been literally trying to punch a hole in the drywall thinking, why the hell are women like that? All right. Let me know. Let's hear it in the chat, Q&A, and then we can do a quiz. Okay. So let me know, guys. Oh, special guest.
Special guests.
Special guest. Oh, a very, very, very special guest. And a special guest. Beardo is also here, so if you guys got any questions for Beardo, please, or Tristan, also put that in the chat. Okay, guys? So let's see what we got here so far. Okay, guys, get him in, get him in, get him in. Natsu Dia says, morning from Paris. What a woman says, okay, what does a woman say to a man when she says, you are mysterious? Natsu, in my opinion, if a woman is saying to you, you are mysterious, it kind of means, why aren't you asking me out? Why are you a little shy? But those are my best guesses. It's either, why are you shy? Because as we all know, the number one thing shy people get called is mysterious, right? Or you're mysterious. You're not acting like other guys because other guys ask me out and you're not. That's my guess. Could it be one of those two? Spencer Beneke says, why not feminist? Perhaps you mean why feminist, Spencer, but feel free to elaborate because, yes, guys, I'm a feminist. Very hardcore feminist. Would you believe it? But guess what? I'm also a meninist. I feel like that has a really bad meaning, but I support men's rights as well as women's rights, guys. Why not be equitable about it?
Masculinist?
So, hello, Jordan. Hello, Spencer. Hello, Adnan. Sorry, Spencer. I kind of forgot that was you. Then Arpan says, if memory recalls, did you make a fragrance video? No, I didn't, Arpan. I didn't make one about like what's the best smells for guys because I'm actually like really sensitive to like artificial scents. So I'm not the best person to ask for that, but you could probably find a good video on that by a different girl, right? MM says, I got a question for you. All right, let's hear it. Asif says, are you going to post a video? Which one, Asif? Spencer, Tom Haas says, the working up the ramp video has helped so much. Oh my God, so happy to hear that, Tom. Which situation did it help in? Spencer says, I started working out again. She won't let me pay for her, and it's weird. You know, that's not actually that weird, Spencer. Some girls are like that. Because they kind of think like if she lets you pay for her, that means she's almost like signed an invisible contract where she signed on the dotted line. I am in the submissive role. He has paid for me. The old school gender roles apply, and now I owe him something. Sex. That's how a lot of girls think about it. Okay, not all. Most women will be happy you paid for it because, like, all right, let's have some old school gender roles on the date when it comes to romance, right? But some women, they're not comfortable with it. They'd rather have like no. I don't want to say no strings attached because then you'll think, oh, she wants casual, right? No, but they don't want to feel obligated to have sex and even have that hanging over their head. Okay, does that make sense? Justin says, well, with me, this girl keeps being cryptic. Say more, Justin. Adnan says, do you think that your laws don't work on other girls? Well, I don't know which laws you're talking about, because I think, they will work on most girls. I'm not saying every single one, but I'd say the majority for sure. Trevor J33 says, just got here and missed the question. It's a Q&A, but we'll probably do a quiz later, and perhaps we'll quiz Beardo as well.
Uh-oh.
Drewski says, I spent all my money on vacation. Now I'm depressed. I'm sorry to hear that. Where do you go on vacation? Tom Haas says, worked up the runway is amazing for my girl. Oh, so are you talking about sexually in the bedroom? Absolutely amazing. Raphael says, I feel women try to prove that I'm not enough, even though I'm in my best. So I'm trying not to show too much interest. I feel I used to be a pickup artist, but I don't want to get rejections. Now I'm shy. So, Raphael, you said, I feel women try to prove that I'm not enough. Yeah, that's pretty standard. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, but it's pretty standard that women will try to prove that you're not enough. So a lot of guys have a big blind spot there because they get very threatened by that. And, it basically pokes at their insecurities. And that's exactly what it's designed to do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you got to expect that. Okay, think about it, guys. In nature, women want. Okay, well, I've just been reading a lot about like the behavioral ecology of different species. Okay, with lions, for example, the female lions need to find a very dominant alpha male lion because if they don't, another dominant alpha male lion will kill them. Okay, so basically they need to find one who's bulletproof. So they got to test him, make sure that he can protect them against the even worse lions out there
And their kids.
and their kids. So yeah, hey, we got Nick Knack on here. Hello, Nick Knack. Great to see you.
Did you study ecology because you were inspired by Sarah Dawn Moore?
Oh yeah, I was thinking that. It's funny. That woman, my plagiarist, okay, she talked about how she like read so much evolutionary biology, aka the transcript of my video. But I'm like, that's actually not even evolutionary biology. It's really actually behavioral ecology. But she wouldn't know that, right? So anyway, MMM says, okay, there's this girl at my gym who had a super crush on me. She literally follows me around everywhere. I finally approached her. She broke out in a huge smile, blushed, and ran away due to nervousness. All right, that's very good. Thank God you finally approached her, MM, and talk to her next time, okay? And that's great. That's wonderful. You've been looks maxing. Wonderful. I hope. Jordan says, "You guys had a baby? Congrats. Been a while since I've been on one of your live streams. Love your content. You are spot on 99 out of 100 times. Thank you very much." And what's the 1 out of 100 time I was completely dead wrong, Jordan, in your opinion?
I have a question for these
Okay.
guys.
David has a question for you guys.
Would you like Victoria to do a video about the top 9 things to never say to a woman?
The top one that David says to me every day. Just kidding. All right. Answer his question, guys, and perhaps you'll get your wish, but perhaps not. Gene Stone says, "Hello from Bangkok." Hello, Gene Stone. And hello, JSB. Qwerty says, "How can one predict mood swings in my girlfriend?" Well, Qwerty, in my opinion, mood swings is just another name for I am mad at you and I'm not good at opening up and saying what it is. So how you can predict them? Understand women better. Understand the top things that trigger women and don't say them, basically. That's what a real mood swing is, okay? Women just use that as cover. Nick Nack, I don't know if you agree. But it's like, oh, yeah, I'm just feeling emotional today. AKA, I'm annoyed at something you did. Which might be, and probably is, legitimate. But they just don't believe it's legitimate because it's like, oh, I shouldn't be upset about that. But you know what? Maybe they have a very good reason to be upset about it. Adnan says, "Do looks matter?" Adnan, they matter, okay? Ask ChatGPT is the number one thing people care about, okay? In studies on mating and attraction. However, can you get around that? Can you circumvent that by just like understanding women having a fucking amazing personality, knowing the basic dating etiquette like the back of your hand, being confident? Sure, you could circumvent it, but would looks like also help you? Of course. But they matter. They matter very much so. Now, remember, you can improve your looks, okay? You might have a wonderful base to work with. Doesn't really matter. You got to keep going with it. You got to, as me and philosophy junkies say, submit to the template, the Hollywood template, the template of what the majority finds attractive. Well, at least that's the fastest way to get the most people interested in you. Okay. You could like try to niche down, as they say, and try to attract a certain subtype of people, right? But they matter. I think we can all agree on that, right? What do you think, Adnan? And we got a super chat from Deepak. Thank you so much, Deepak. I really appreciate that. And he said, "You are my star. Big fan." Wow. Thank you so much. I'm very flattered. You flattered me. Thank you so much. And Deepak, did I miss a question of yours? Let me know. And if I did, just copy and paste it, like spam me with it. So D super chat me. Thank you so much. He said, "Lol, she's annoyed. The woman is annoyed. Boo-hoo." I like how you spelled boo-hoo. I've never seen that spell before. B-U-H-U. Stay single, guys. You really don't need the shit, which is an long-term relationship with a modern woman. Dave, what do you have to say about that?
Where can I find a medieval woman?
That's good. So, let me read that one time. Lol, she's annoyed. The woman is annoyed. Boo-hoo. I'm not really sure what you mean by that, D, because it's like, it's kind of normal to get annoyed, right? But then you make the leap to, because she's annoyed, stay single forever? Just have a life of eternal celibacy? It's a bit much. It's a bit dramatic. You really don't need the shit, which is a long-term relationship with a modern woman. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you're looking for a relationship where your partner never ever gets annoyed at you, I don't know if you're going to find that with a woman from the Philippines or whatever the opposite of a modern woman is in your guys' minds. But, people in the Philippines get annoyed too. So remember that.
I have a tip.
David has a tip.
Women need to talk and have deep conversations to feel close. If they feel like they're not getting the talks, the deep conversations in the normal course of events, then they're gonna start a fight just to so that you can prove that you care. Whether they're probably not doing it consciously, but they haven't had the connection, and so they get grumpy and then they start a fight, and then you have to work it out, and then they get that focused time, and then they get that connection, and so you can kind of forestall a lot of these moody fights, as it was kind of called, by being more proactive with trying to have emotionally connective conversations.
I like a lot of what you said. There's only one thing I didn't like. I liked about 97.69% of what you said.
Nice.
Okay. So, yeah, because I agree with you, what you said, that if you don't have a lot of emotionally connective time, they're going to get moody. Then, because they're annoyed, they'll start, they'll become more critical because they're kind of getting resentful probably and not, communicating it. And then once you talk out the fight, they will then feel, oh, nice, at least we had a good heart to heart here, and feel better. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're subconsciously starting a fight kind of because they know it will end up with them feeling better, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean?
I think they are.
Well, he has a theory that they're subconsciously starting the fight. I don't agree, but I do agree with the rest of what he said.
How many women have you dated?
Good one, Beardo. All right. He owned me. He owned me with that one, right? All right. So Jordan said yes to Beardo's question about the video. Neil Bradley says, you can adjust your attractiveness via personality. I've seen trolls pull down 10s. The worse you look, the better your personality needs to be. I agree with that, Neil. Yeah, we should make a little graph like that, and it'll just be a little line, right? And people get their minds blown wow. So good, right? But then a lot of guys will see that and be like, why are women so complicated? I'm like, bro, it doesn't get much simpler than that, right? But
home math, right?
Home math, yeah.
Draws a two-dimensional, Cartesian coordinates, and then he draws a line.
No, but his are actually really complicated. He'll have pictures in them, and okay. it's very complex. Mine are a simple line. But anyway, yeah. So D super chat me. Thank you so much, D. He's back for more. I appreciate that. He said, I had a girlfriend who hid my keys and phone because she didn't like how I left our room untidy in my apartment where I paid the rent. And she was the best girlfriend I had. Stay single, not worth it. Well, I can understand that if that's the best girlfriend you had, you've dated people who sound kind of like borderline personality disorder, which are one of the 5 people who can ruin your life. Not to put anyone down who has that, but, if it was an option, only date people with borderline personality disorder or stay single, I'd stay single too. So, yeah. I mean, what they say to women when they complain about relationships is pick better. But I'm not going to say that to you because that's obnoxious, right? So, stay single. D?
You got to make sure the juice is worth the squeeze.
Exactly.
There's definitely women out there for whom the juice is worth the squeeze. I got one right here.
Okay, thanks, Dad. D says, no, they were normal, modern women. Okay. Jordan says, you're so right about the BPD thing. So, Oh, God. All right. Let's see what else we got here. D, I'm curious. Knowing that I'm a modern woman, do you take my advice, or why are you even like super chatting me? Because I'm also a modern woman. I'm curious. I really am curious because I appreciate your super chats, but I'm like, All right. What question should we take next, guys? Mapscast says, I've come to love women's test. It's crazy, but as I learned to be kindly dominant from your videos, even my professional life with women has improved. That's amazing, Maps. One-Eyed Gaming says, what are 5 people? Please say the mental health issues. Okay, get the book, 5 People Who Can Ruin Your Life by Bill Eddy. One-Eyed Gaming, you won't regret it. It's really good. Okay. So, okay. Amin Mograph says, one girl was killing me with her eyes at the gym. I asked for her number. She said, I'm in a relationship, but now she keeps looking at me. What should I do? Okay, well, this could be a few different situations. Okay, one, you could have the overperception bias where a girl looks at you in kind of like the natural course of events. Perhaps she's just kind of like casting her eyes about the room. She sees you, and a guy thinks, oh my God, she wants to fuck me so bad, she's eye fucking me. No, she's looking at you. Okay, that's one possibility. Okay, another possibility is she finds you attractive or whatever, but she's in a relationship and she has no intention of fucking you, but she just looked at you. Okay, and that's normal. And you have to accept, wow, people look at attractive people and they look around the room and their eyes meet. Third possibility is maybe, she's unhappy with her boyfriend. And if you got her number, you could possibly get her to have like some kind of affair with you or hook up with you. All right. So if you really want that third option, which I'm sure you do, you can keep being friendly with her. You can say, like, oh, let me get your number, like, and reference something that you guys were talking about. Like, I'll send you the link to this or whatever. Or I'll send you the info about that thing we were mentioning. And then you can kind of strike up a conversation over text, or she can give you her Instagram or whatever, and you can like message her, like her stories and start up a friendship that way. And then it can heat up that way. So that's what I would do if you really want that. So, Drake's Lens, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. He says, how important is shadow work in these dynamics? Well, Drake's Lens, you know, I don't know if you'd call this shadow work because I'm not exactly sure what people mean when they say shadow work. I know it's like facing your dark side, facing the parts of yourself you don't want to face. So I think in that sense, like, it could be a thing because like if you want to be kinky and you want to be like a dom and you want to be aggressive, you have to get over your fear of your own sexuality, your fear of your own aggression, your fear of not being a nice guy. And that's like huge for so many guys. It's just like, I live and die by the creed of being a nice guy. And it's like, there's more to life than being a nice guy, especially in the bedroom when it's kind of fun and games and it's all consensual. So I don't know what kind of shadow work you might need to do to get in touch with being okay with your sexual tastes. Maybe it's really dirty, maybe it's creepy, maybe it's gross. And at some point you just have to be like, you know what? I give myself 100% permission to just be as like weird, creepy, and gross in my sexual interest as long as it's consensual, not hurting anyone among consenting adults. There's nothing wrong with it. Even if I'm kind of like, what the hell? Why am I thinking that? Am I the creepiest person on planet Earth? It's okay. Like I said, as long as adults are consenting. So I don't know if you call that shadow work, but yeah. And Beardo has kind of told me, like, I wish we could get him in for this question. I'll ask him when he comes back that, it can be scary for a guy to really allow himself to get in touch with his aggression. You guys will have to let me know. What do you think? Is it? I'm not a guy, so I don't know. I mean, I'm a girl, and it's scary for me to get in touch with it too, but it might be a little different. I don't know. What do you guys think? Great question. Thank you so much. And what do you think, Drake's Lens? So Kawhi Leonard says, I struggle to get physical on dates. The vibes are great. She looks happy to spend time with me. The conversations are never stale, but I just struggle to get it to the next level. Yes, Kawhi, do you know what to do? Or is it just like you don't know, you know what to do, but you can't do it, or you don't know what to do? Because I agree. You could have the best conversation in the world, but if you as a man are not taking 100% responsibility for getting it physical on the dates, it will never happen.
Mm.
So which of the two is it? And David, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Somebody asked a question. This Drake's Lens. He said, basically, is it scary to get in touch with your shadow side, your dark side, when it comes to being a dom or your sexuality, or just like being not a nice guy in the bedroom, perhaps? What do you think? Consensually, of course.
Yeah, it can be a bit scary. I don't know if you want me to give any examples from our lives.
Well, just whisper it to me first.
Yeah, sometimes you have to go into uncomfortable territory, but then you go into this uncomfortable territory and maybe you like it, maybe the girl you're with likes it, and then you try it again and it's not so uncomfortable the second time, and after a while, it might be one of your favorite things.
But did you have to get in touch with a side of yourself you had tried to repress, oh, I never wanted to be like that? That
Not
reminds
me.
me of a man I never wanted to be anything like,
Not me.
Okay. All right. Beardo has spoken. So, what about you guys? So, then Renew the R Wand. Thank you so much, Renew the R Wand. One of my biggest super chatters. Thank you.
But then again, I didn't really have much of an opportunity to get in touch with my darker side until pretty late in life, relatively. So maybe if it had come up earlier in my life, maybe I would have had trouble.
Mm-hmm. Good point. All right, Renew the R1 says, give us 9 things to never say to a woman right now, please. Okay, for
Did
you.
you tell them why I said that?
Not exactly, no. What's the reason, dude?
Because you already have that video recorded.
Yeah, I do. I just don't want to release it. Okay, let me find it, and we'll do a little sneak preview. Okay. All right, guys, let's do some learning right now. Okay. First of all, I'm going to ask you guys. All right. This is going to be like that Steve Harvey show, right? Give me one word you should never say to a woman. Okay? Put it in the chat. One word you should never say to a woman. Okay? And put that in the chat, and then I'll tell you guys if you got it right. All right, guys, get it in. This is all for Renew the R1. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh wow, we got huge super chat. Thank you so much, Nani. You are so generous. I appreciate it so much. Wow. He says, I knew the Queen was live. Recently, I received a text from my homegirl. She said, I love that you just say what you feel. It's a rare quality. And I recently had a viral TikTok of my mom highlighting her kindness for others. Nani? I actually saw that TikTok of your mom. That was so, like, amazing. Like, I just stared at, like, her photo for, like, a long time. I'm like, "Wow." I'm so happy that went viral. That's awesome. It deserves it. And, she deserves it. You deserve it. So, wonderful. Wonderful to hear this. Now, which homegirl is this? Let me know. Because there's been more than one recently, I believe. Thank you so much again, Nani. It is so great to see you, hear from you. And once again, thank you so much for your insanely generous super chats. I appreciate it. All right, guys, you're getting in your words you should never say to a woman. Words you should never say to a woman. Thank you, guys. Okay, we got Sam says, actually, brilliant, Sam. Unfortunately, it was not on the list. Okay. But that is a great one, Sam. Actually is actually one of them. And if you know, right? CT9A says feel. That's a good one, CT9A. Also not on the list, but I see where you're going with that, and I know what you're saying. I don't 100% agree, but I see, the point you're getting at. Jester Sketchbook says, sorry. That. I can't agree with that one. D says, I do. Oh, not with a modern woman, am I right, D? Dublin says, never say please. Okay, interesting. Now, Edison 8 says, there is no such word. Oh, there actually is such a word, but I know what you mean, Edison 8. Kawhi says, alpha. One second here. Oh, my bad. Excuse me, Kawhi. You're actually correct. That is one of the words you should never say to a woman. I don't even think that was. Oh, yeah, it was on the list. Yep. Wonderful point. You should never say alpha. The reason why is because all women have a natural hatred of the red pill. Okay. And if you start talking about alpha male this, alpha male that, you're going to look weak instantly because it's really a show don't tell thing. You know what I'm saying? The way women think is a real alpha would never say he's alpha. He just is alpha. He doesn't have to go about blustering and talking about how alpha he is. And also, it's kind of like a tell that you're just watching like the red pill and a lot of videos on YouTube, and a lot of women are onto that. So absolutely, you're right. Never say it unless you want to be blocked instantly, basically. So yeah, good point. Renew the R1 Blue says fat. Yes. That's one of them. Now, it seems obvious, right? But what guys often get wrong about this one is you don't want to call other women fat, okay? You don't want to try to call other women fat to make her seem, like, but not you. You're thin. You're great. You're so thin. Because basically, women, no matter how thin they are sensitive to being called fat. Because it's one of those insults. It's like the go-to insult for guys, right? And they kind of know it. So you might think, oh no, I was complimenting her. I was just saying other women are unhealthy and other women are fat. But that woman is not going to like it, and she's going to feel that, oh, he judges women. Now I'm afraid to gain a pound. Now I know he's judging my body, even if her body to you looks perfect, right? She's going to suddenly get insecure, start feeling like you're judgmental of her body. It's going to make her shut down more sexually, not be able to open up. So you never want to talk about, like, I dated this girl in the past, but she was fat. See how high value I am? Like, I don't date fat girls. Like, nothing like that is going to come across well to a woman, no matter how thin she is. So, good point. So, Baron says, hey, what are we discussing today? We're doing a quiz, and it's give me one thing you should never say to a woman. Um, so Drewski says piggy. Yeah, that's kind of like under fat, right? So Nani says that one looks a bit masculine, lol, from what you said. Which one, Nani? Which one are you referring to? I might have missed it. Nicholas Walker says, I've been yelled at when I told the girl I was talking to was chill. Yeah, that's a good one. It's not on my list, but it is a good one. Yeah, it's not really a compliment to say a girl is chill. Okay, because in a woman's mind, if you're a high value woman, in other words, if you're an attractive woman who guys like, guys are willing to like basically go to the ends of the earth for you. So that's kind of like the thought in their head. It's like, oh, this guy thinks I'm chill. This guy doesn't think I'm like high maintenance and worth kind of like putting in effort for. So that's kind of like why chill isn't really a good thing. Like I used to not drink on dates, and guys would often say like you're a cheap date. They meant it probably as a compliment, I guess, but it didn't feel good to hear because it's kind of like, oh, nice. I don't have to exert effort for you. Perfect. You're chill, so I don't have to do much. Girls don't like that. They want you to feel like, oh, I want to do stuff for you. I want to invest in you. I want to like impress you. Of course, from a guy they like, right? But it's still not a good, they're not going to like the word chill in relation to them. So Renee says, I have money. Very good, Renee. That is something you should never say to a woman because, again, it comes off as weak, insecure, and beta. Like you're trying to brag and like a guy who really had money wouldn't be going around talking about how he has money. Like, for example, at the strip club, that's a really common thing guys do. They'll talk about like how much money they have. And all the strippers are just rolling their eyes like, oh my God, not another one of these guys, right? Because they know the real people who have money don't need to brag about how they have money. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you. It wasn't on the list though. So Renee says, is this the ick tech? No, it's just things you should never say to a woman. They could give you the ick though. So Jester says, I'd like a judge's review on sorry, please. Well, why do you mean? I don't even understand that one because it's like you should never apologize. Like, why would you even think that, Gestures? D says, I like your best friend. For sure. Never say that. JD Vert says, wrong hole. Guys, that's a really serious one that, you know, could really traumatize women. It's not even funny to joke about that. That's basically joking about the worst kind of assault there is. So a woman won't like that, won't find it funny. So Mo says, this girl I'm classmates with, she recently started to call me her king, but sometimes also calls me brother out of nowhere, then calls me king again. What's your thoughts on this? She's probably just trying to be funny. She's probably just trying to like, you know, banter with you, joke with you, because I know like lots of girls like to call guys king and everything, like short king or just king. They enjoy it. They just find it like funny. I'm not saying she couldn't be interested in you or couldn't like you. It could be her way of just kind of flirting with you, like, you know, teasing you a little bit. In my opinion, I'm not sure. So Jester's sketchbook says Sigma. Yeah, I've heard the kids are using Sigma in all kinds of hilarious ways. I love it, but yeah, probably not. Wilburn says, I've always enjoyed your videos you made over the years. Live chat. Thanks so much for what you do. Yes, Wilburn, I basically only do the lives. Thank you so much. So Lola says, I stopped talking to her in weeks and she's still sending more hints. I don't understand why she's not giving up. You're going to have to tell me more than that. So Nick Nack says, when did the human race get so weak? Why are people so sensitive? Why do people care so much about what people who have never met them have to say? I don't get it. Not everyone is going to like you. Oh, wise words from Knick Knack. I agree. Yes. Yes. Knick Knack, you don't seem like particularly sensitive. I think that's great quality. So, Jester's sketchbook said, I thought it was one word. Okay, yes, you're right. I did say that. Nicholas Walker says, calm down. That's another fantastic one, Nicholas Walker. Yeah, you never want to say calm down to a woman when she's anxious. Yeah, bingo. That actually wasn't on my list, but that's a freaking amazing one. Nicholas Walker says he's learning something new. So Roby says, I just got here, so maybe this has already been said, but you're acting crazy right now, or why are you being so crazy? Wonderful. That's actually not on the list either, but it's so good. I had to give it a round of applause because, yes, you should never say that. Crazy is like a microaggression to women, okay? Because, guys, women have been told that their wants, needs, and desires are crazy. And it's basically a microaggression because of the emotional being's fallacy. It's because so many men believe that women, no matter how rational they're being, are just kind of like emotional messes in their brain and they have no rhyme or reason. So it's basically like they're constantly being invalidated by men and told they're crazy to the point of there was a huge, epidemic of women being thrown in locked away for life in mental asylums in the past because the husbands thought they were crazy just like a lot of you guys on the channel, and they literally could get them locked away so they could like move on. It's a very shameful, awful part of history, but it's like, all that baggage is underneath. I mean, they might not even know that, but it's like they know that men don't think what they say makes sense and is logical, and they know it's logical and they know it makes sense, and the men can't understand it, or perhaps are intentionally gaslighting them or whatever. And so it's insanely triggering to call a woman crazy because it's like all that history there.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So Sam says, wow, hearing things like this is eye-opening as to how short-sighted statements could come off. Exactly, Sam. That's exactly my point in making this video. It's like a lot of guys just say this stuff casually, and it's like they don't really realize that women are like, no. So, they relate to like deeper themes. And if you understand these deeper themes, you will kind of just have a good sense of who women are, and you won't put your foot in your mouth and ruin the opportunities you do have. So, yeah.
You talking about the 9 things you shouldn't say?
Yeah, and they're giving me some good ones that weren't on the list, but because I asked them, like, what's that show? It's the Steve Harvey show where they...
Think Like a Man?
No, but it's like...
Price is Right. No, Family Feud.
Family Feud, yeah, Family Feud. So I said, like, name, one thing you should never say to a woman. So, okay.
Over 100 people in the room and only 52 likes.
Weirdo, my hype man over here.
Boost that up a little bit, guys.
So,
have you discussed with the group a time to end the live?
Yeah, guys, I got to end the live soon. I only did 44 minutes. That's like a record low for me, but... All right, guys, if you want your question answered, get it in because Theodore's making me go back in the kitchen, right?
I'm not making you do anything.
I'm kidding. He's not. And Bob Bill says, modern women. I agree. Guys, not every woman is as wise to the red pill jargon as me, but a lot of women are catching on. Okay, and they know the catchphrases, and they know modern women is one of them. So if you're saying modern women, Western women, what else? Modern women,
American women,
we men, okay, any of like the typical rhetoric, okay. If you're talking about modern women, especially, women are going to think, Oh no, not one of those. And they're going to think, oh, another incel or whatever. So maybe you can think in your mind, wow, I wish I wasn't surrounded by modern women. Don't say it out loud, okay? So, Drewski says smile. Wonderful round of applause for that one, Drewski. That is the ultimate thing you should never say to a woman, okay? Every woman's had some guy say smile to her. And every woman, except maybe like 2 or 3 who aren't very, in my opinion, despises it, guys. All right, that might have been a little bit harsh, but the majority of women know this one and hate it with a burning passion, okay? Because it doesn't really make sense to women. It's like, I'm going about my day, and I'm thinking to myself, then all of a sudden a man comes in, smile. Why? Why should I? Why should I smile for you? Because it implies that women should smile. They are meant to be attractive and happy at all times. They are meant to be Stepford wives. They are meant to be robots who have an artificial smile plastered on their face so they look pleasing to me and they don't trigger me. It's weird. It's creepy. It's extremely creepy. So, yes, Drewski, you got a huge round of applause.
80 likes. That's more like it.
Nice. So, yeah, and lots of men make the mistake because they're like, oh, but isn't it nice to smile? No, because for women, they're constantly expected to be beautiful angels, even if like their dad's dying or whatever, and they don't feel like smiling. Men are like, I am so confused. A woman isn't smiling.
Some women have this so ingrained they can't stop smiling.
Yeah, it's really sad. So many women are like this, where you'll see it like all the time. Once you start looking for it, they could be talking about the Holocaust that, you know, their whole family died in or something. And they're saying with like this, like a weird fake smile plastered on the face because it's been so ingrained in them that women are pretty, women are sweet, women are kind, women must smile, women can't be angry, women are nice. Okay, so now they can't stop smiling. It's like the Joker's smile, honestly. All right. And of course, men are cool with it because they want women to smile. But that's sad. That's obscene. People shouldn't be forcing a bizarrely, toxically positive emotion on like everything they're actually feeling. So women really appreciate it if, you know, one of like the deepest desires of women in a relationship or in dating is actually to have a man who says, you don't have to smile for me. I want to see the real you. I want to see all your emotions, the good and the bad. I'm here for you, good or bad. That's one of the deepest desires of a lot of women. Okay, and if you're into all this like spiritual sexuality, like polarity stuff, that's like what they always talk about. Of like, okay.
I'm here for you, good or bad, Tor.
Well, when I was first dating David, he actually wore a shirt that says "Stop telling women to smile," and he wore it around for me because I did I give it to you?
It was your shirt.
It was my shirt, and he wore it. Yeah. And then also, he had written on my Instagram one time, "Be a man who causes a woman to smile, rather than one who tells her to."
That was before we started dating.
And that was before we started dating. But when he commented that on my Instagram, I'm like, oh. Okay. So it definitely made me think, oh, points to this guy.
Oh, maybe this guy's got horse D.
Yep. That's exactly what I thought. Wait, I think we got a super chat from D. He's very generous. He's very misogynist, but he's very generous. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, D.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
He said,
Sorry,
and we're expected to make money and die in wars. Modern feminism is a hate group. Dude, do you want to take this one?
Modern women die in wars now, too.
That's true. Modern women die in wars. But what about modern feminism?
There's no such thing as modern feminism.
What do you mean?
Feminism is modern.
So modern feminism isn't a thing?
What's the definition of modern? This is like,
Dude, do you want to like pull up a chart?
modern feminism as opposed to ancient feminism or medieval feminism, Renaissance feminism.
Okay, yeah. Well, you're saying we're expected to make money and die in wars. I agree. And that's bad, right? I don't think that's good. That's like a men's rights issue. Men are reduced to like the bank accounts, right? And there's like the draft. These are good men's rights issues, okay? Feminism is not the enemy there. That's not who's trying to like keep the draft alive or whatever, and who's treating men as like providers only with like no feelings. I mean, if anything, feminism is trying to say, how about we get men to open up and talk about their feelings? You know, how about we stop like this crazy patriarchy, which is like perpetuating violence and war in the world? That's like feminism common takes. So I don't see how you're connecting, you know, feminists treat men like they're good for nothing but money. That's the opposite of what they think. And feminism is, you know, the hate group behind getting men to die in war. Think about that. I don't see how that connects at all.
Look at this lighting. Look at the lighting here. I set Victoria up with like nice lighting for her 9 things not to say video, and a backdrop, and like editing, professional editing. She won't upload the video.
Okay. So Tom Ha has super chatted me. Thank you so much, Tom Ha. How did I not see that? I really appreciate that, Tom. And do you have a comment that I missed, Tom? I really hope. Oh, wait. I see it now. He says, "You're the best. I didn't know you had a family now. Congratulations. Been watching for a couple of years. Just wanted to say thank you. I watched your whole library. Changed how I interact with women." Wow, Tom. That's very touching, and I really appreciate that. That's so cool. Email me. This is what I want to say. I want to say email me about if you ever want to tell me more about that, about how it changed how you interact with women. I'm very interested to hear. And I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
She doesn't want to date you though.
No, that's obvious, but I'm curious. I'm a very curious person. I don't even Tom Ha, all I see is a icon of something, but I'm just curious, you know.
This one's taken.
Yeah. I'm taken, so. Okay, Renew the R Wand, he super chatted me. Thank you so much, Renew the R Wand. Very generous guy. Isn't that something like Trump would say? He's a very generous guy.
Believe me.
Just wanted to say thanks for a live you did on 5/3/23. You gave a list of 10 female gaze fantasies and explained them very well. I would encourage everyone to go and watch it. Oh, that's a good video that I never published. The 10 principles of the female gaze. That could be a banger video, but
you never published that?
No, I never published it. I'm sure, you know, my plagiarist would have been circulating it if I had, but
number one only girl in the world?
Yep.
You never published it?
I never published it. There's a lot of stuff I never published.
That's a shame.
I only share it on the lives. It's good stuff. I agree. Thank you for talking about that one, Renew the R Wand. And I appreciate your super chat.
See, guys, she's sitting on a pile of gold.
Knick Knack. We got Knick Knack, the one female that I know of in the live. She says, D's upset because he can't stay home and clean the house and have the babies. Hashtag SDE. What does SDE stand for?
I don't know.
That's pretty funny. What does SDE stand for? You made Beardo laugh. Thank you so much, Nick Knack, for your super chat. I really appreciate it. Yep. Good one, Nick Knack.
So have you told them about your
and thanks again, Nick Knack.
Your like women need to be part of a story theory?
No, I have not. That's my latest theory.
It's a good one.
You think so?
Well, yeah, I think it like ties together a lot of the things that you talked about, or like encompasses them.
Yeah.
Like the runway,
Yeah.
like sex brain versus normal brain,
Yeah.
like the vortex.
Yeah. Yep, that's my one unifying theory, guys, that's percolated in my head, so I'll have to release that one.
Alpha and love.
Yeah. You think so? Oh, dude, I didn't know that you liked that, because when I told you, you didn't seem too interested in it, but I guess you actually thought it was good.
I think I thought it was good.
Okay. Yeah, I was been thinking about that. I think that's kind of like the key to like the female libido, but
yeah, I think it's a good way to put things.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it, since you told me about it a couple hours ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like women out there, like they want to have sex.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like, I go back to this a lot, but like a woman that I knew a little bit in a group, she was like, "Oh, it's been so long since I've had sex. I really wish I could have sex."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? Like, you can go into any bar in America in the middle of the day or anytime, day or night, and have sex. Like, what could you possibly mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had some idea, but so she doesn't want just sex. She wants like the whole panoply.
Yeah.
The story is
Yes.
the way that you put it earlier today.
Yes.
She doesn't want to just like thumb to the end of the book. Oh, the butler did it, right?
Yeah.
She wants the whole like Agatha Christie, setup.
Yes. Yeah, it could be a good one. I agree. It's a really good way of putting it. Yeah, because it's like you want to have sex, but you can't. Like so many times I went on, guys, I'm going to be really honest with you for a second. All right. Before I met Beardo, yeah, I have a high sex drive, very high sex drive. Yeah. And before I had a baby, because having a baby is like super exhausting. Okay. So it's like,
don't get off track.
Okay. But anyway, I would go on dates and I would just be sitting in my home and I would be like swiping like through like 1,000 guys, like everybody in my area in New York City, until literally there was no one left on Tinder for me to swipe through, because I was so like kind of like horny and like lonely. And I'm like, I have to do it tonight. I have to just find someone who I can have sex with. Like somebody, anybody, but obviously like I had my,
Well, the viewership numbers are going up.
I had my standard, so I'm like, I gotta find somebody.
My
so
non-living life, true confessions.
True confessions right here, guys. And then I would get on the date. So trust me, in my head, I'm like, I am ready to do it. Just give me a reason. Just give me a reason. Just a little bit's enough. That song, right? Like, just give me a freaking reason. But so many times, like the way the guy acted, I was like unconscious at that point, guys, in the sense of I didn't understand what was driving me. That only came later when I was able to analyze like my 300 dates. I'm like, what was driving me? What was going on? Why was I acting that way? Okay. But these are like unconscious drives. Like the brain is, running the show, right? And I was like, why can't I have sex with this guy? Like I want to have sex. Why can't I do it with this person? What is stopping me? What is making me say, oh, hell no? Do you know what I'm saying? Even when I went through all the work, I went through all the effort, I'm sitting there like, please, like, let's do this. And I can't do it.
Is it similar or dissimilar to the ick?
It's kind of similar, but not exactly. Because it wasn't like a disgust feeling. It wasn't like, ugh. It was just like, you're not playing the role right. Why aren't you playing the role right? This is like unconsciously kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't understand. What don't you get? Now looking back, I understand they don't know. They don't know what the role is, let alone how to play it well. They don't even know what role they're auditioning for.
It's like the dwarves can't wake up to Snow White, only Prince Charming can.
Exactly. Like what was wrong with the dwarves, right? But they don't know they're supposed to be acting like Prince Charming. Exactly, dude. That's a really good analogy.
And also Rumpelstiltskin.
Rumpelstiltskin, my favorite, guys. Like I must always reference Rumpelstiltskin as much as I possibly can for some reason. Even my living room is like interior designed in the style of Rumpelstiltskin. I don't know if I told you that, dude. But you know that like table we have with like the grass? That's like spinning straw into gold.
Oh,
Rumpelstiltskin. So
you were going on these dates and you wanted to have sex, but you couldn't.
I wanted to have sex.
And so you would finish one date and then you wouldn't have anything to do for the rest of the night, right?
Well, sometimes, yeah, it was really bad. I would go on one date and I'm like, oh, fudge, that didn't work out. I got to find someone else now. And then I would go on a second date.
Very same night.
The very same night. It was crazy. Okay. But what you guys don't understand, because, you know, a lot of men think like, oh, wow, a woman is not horny or whatever. Women have sex drives too. Okay. They got all the same equipment you have.
Well, I don't know. It's different.
They do. It's not really that different.
It is different.
It's
different. It's different.
I don't agree.
It is.
Well, in what sense?
Well, first of all, you said the equipment. We've got very different equipment.
Well, not to be harsh, but you might need to study a little more anatomy because it's actually the same.
Oh. And
he doesn't know,
guys. I know plenty. And there's men and women have very different ideas of like the ideal sexual experience.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean. All right. Well, I guess we were talking about different things because, yeah, I agree with that, except for the first part of what you said.
So how long did it take you to, like, you know, winnow out, reject one of these men?
About 5 minutes.
Before you could even order appetizers?
Yeah, because I didn't want to waste their time. I didn't want them to, or I didn't want them to pay any money or anything. I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Bye. So. Okay. Jellyfish says the reason why bottom surgeries for trans people work so well is that the equipment is about the same. Yes, I know, Jellyfish. He just doesn't know. I'll have to educate him. So.
It sounds almost like going to a casting call, you know, and you like walk in.
That's good. That's
like,
real good.
Read the lines, and they're like, "I'm sorry, you're not right for this part."
That's really good, David. Very, very good. You're so true. I love that.
In fact, they might even just look at you and say you're not right for the part. You don't have the look that we're looking for.
Yep.
Remember the Dirty Dancing woman? And she was like, I had to find somebody with like the hooded eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Dirty Dancing, but we watched this kind of like making of about the author of Dirty Dancing, the script writer and the person who like had the idea and everything. It was based on her teenage years, basically.
She was baby.
She was baby. And there was a Patrick Swayze at her hotel or whatever. And so she specifically wanted somebody for the role of Patrick Swayze with hooded eyes. And she wanted baby to be like a Jewish girl with like curly hair. And because kind of like her. Yeah. And the Hollywood execs were like, oh no, we can't have a person with like a nose like this and curly like frizzy hair. We need like to have a blonde like bombshell in the role. She was just like, no, you don't get it, guys. So she fought to have Jennifer Grey in the role. And she, of course, thought Patrick Swayze was perfect, which he was. Am I right? So, yeah. David also has hooded eyes, though. So, Drewski says, first of all, he's super chatting me. Thank you so much, Drewski. He says, a lot of us had to watch our parents get divorced, which doesn't set the best example. Moms typically want to keep their sons out of trouble. Let me read that one more time. A lot of us had to watch our parents get divorced, which doesn't set the best example. So is that like for relationships? Yeah, okay. Do you agree? Yeah.
I don't know. I think it can also motivate you to like work hard on your relationship, which is important.
Yeah. And moms typically want to keep their sons out of trouble. For sure. And can you elaborate on that, Drewski? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, in what sense? And thank you for sharing.
Another thing real quick on the story idea. Listen to the lyrics of the song, I Need a Hero.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. Yeah. I've told them this before in the lives one time, yeah, but it's a good one.
It's very exaggerated, hyperbolic, but, like... the song isn't like, I need a dick in me for 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
The
even
song
like
is, I need a hero.
even like female rappers sing about like really, you know, dirty stuff. They never say I need a dick in me for 2 minutes. So, oh, we got Nani here. Nani superchatted me. Thank you so much, Nani. He says, the comment section under my TikTok, there was a woman expressing how sad she was that her mother passed. And I said, this is a safe place. Take all the time you need here. We love you, sis. Making the women feel safe to reflect. Wonderful, Nani. Now, you actually spoke the female gaze very fluently there. This is a safe place. That's huge. Take all the time you need here. That is one of the things you should always say to a woman because, you know, it's so good sexually and also the way you used it. Because, you know, take all the time you need here. Like sexually, that's one of the things women want to hear because it's like, okay, I don't have to rush. I can take my time. I know the man wants to like stick it in right now, but he's not going to pressure me. I can actually relax. I can actually take the time I need, even though it's longer, to actually get in the mood. And you know, it's going to go on the runway and it's going to go slower in the beginning and it's going to heat up and I have to just be patient. So you saying something like take all the time you need, and I know this isn't a sexual thing, but I'm just talking about the sexual context of it. It really makes them feel like, wow, he's got my back. He's not going to pressure me. He's not going to force me. He's not going to rush me. He's not going to hurry me. He's not going to be like most guys where it's like, please, just please touch my dick, please. You know what I'm saying? So wonderful. And so, yeah.
Beardo confession time.
Okay.
What are the 2 things you like ask me the most? Sex.
Like don't go like.
Don't go straight for the breasts. And don't make me feel rushed.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like you really gotta like let go of like the goal. That's really the best. Okay. Like a lot of women, I'll hear them say, what happened to dry humping? Or like, I miss making out so much. Remember in high school, like before we had sex, and it was just like so much fun because we would just be like kissing for hours and there would just be heavy petting like over the clothes that was so hot. Like, what happened to that? Now it's just in and out and it's over. It's like that makes all the chemistry, the heat build, and it brings blood flow to all the woman's genitals, making her actually ready to get into sex brain, to feel turned on, and to have the greatest pleasure. It really does not feel as good before that point where it's you're on the runway, lift off. Then it feels amazing. It still feels good before, but you know, you gotta do it slow. Not always, but
have you set a time to bring this to a close?
Okay, yeah, we got. How about 5 more minutes?
It doesn't necessarily have to be that fast.
Okay.
Just, I think that you should help set everybody's expectations.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to bring it to a close. You heard the man, right?
He just fell asleep, so.
Oh, that Disney.
You actually probably have a while, but.
Okay.
I mean, you definitely can't go past 2, right?
Guys, look how adorable that guy is.
Right? You definitely can't go past 2.
No.
So I'm just saying, like,
Okay.
pick a time you think is good and set everybody's expectations.
Look how cute that guy is. Okay. How adorable is the baby? Okay, guys. Thank you so much, Nani. And I gotta check out your actual TikTok because I only saw it on Instagram. So I'm gonna read the comments. Andrew. Yo, it's Andrew Kane. Hello, Andrew. It's so great to see you. He said, first of all, thank you so much. And he says, how to make women feel safe when meeting for the first time, especially in nightlife places without online dating? P.S. You guys are legends. Oh, thank you so much, Andrew. Okay. So, um, okay, so this is like a club, right? And you how to make them feel safe. Well, first of all, if they're in a club, they're probably with their friends, right? So it's not like they're going to be feeling especially unsafe. So it's not like, you met her in a dark alleyway or whatever, and she's like on guard, or you met her in an elevator at night, or you met her in a parking garage, or you met her in the typical places, or you met her on a hiking trail where there's like no one around. These are places where women feel unsafe, and you would have to like kind of make her feel safe. But in a club, like, people feel safe. It's like there's the security there, there's the bartenders there, they got their friends there. So I wouldn't like worry about making them feel safe or thinking like, oh, they're going to feel threatened if I approach them, because they're not, you know, especially if you're not just like coming up behind them, like grabbing them by the hips and like grinding on them or whatever. Like, and I'm not even saying you can't do that sometimes in some certain dance scenes and whatever, but you don't have to worry too much. However, you can offer to buy them a drink. I think that's one way of making them feel safe. And if they're like, "Oh, I don't drink," or something, you can just be like, "Oh, let me buy you a Shirley Temple or some non-alcoholic drink." Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's like a nice gesture of kind of like, I'm going to be in the masculine role for you. I'm going to be the protector and the provider. So that will make them feel safe. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's very good to do. Buy them a drink. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you just get to chatting, and I know you, Andrew. You're great at chatting one on one. So, I think you'll be able to take it from there. But I think that's kind of like the main things you have to keep in mind. Okay. So, yeah, great question. Absolutely, great question. Thank you so much. So, Luderi Tempest, I want to block you for that. I am going to give you a second chance, but that's really not a funny joke. All right. Knickknack's giving some good advice. Yep, listen to Knickknack. She's our second certified female in here, so great advice, Knickknack. Thank you. So, okay. Whose question should we answer next? Okay. David Gonzalez, hello. He says, "Hey, glad to see you. What a beautiful day." Oh, so nice. Thank you so much, David. Knickknack, bye, beard, bye, baby, bye. Oh. Strick says, "Baby still asleep." Wow, yeah, he's like the sweetest baby in the world, and he's so good. He's very calm. He's very happy. Strix is doing some homework. He has looked up the song "I Need a Hero." And are you finding it educational, Strix? Jellyfish says, "Women definitely want the time and space to express their feelings and just have someone listen. Men need this too. They just don't always know it." Absolutely, Jellyfish. Yes. And it's sad. Sad that men don't have that as well, or don't know that they need it, because I agree, they need it. Drewski says, "Like a dad would normally teach him how to court women, there where the mom just wants to keep her baby boy forever." Okay, Drewski, but I feel like it's kind of wishful thinking to think that like your dad is going to be some kind of like dating coach extraordinaire, because most guys are not. Okay, most guys don't understand women just as much as the other guys. So I would actually go to a dating coach rather than hoping like, oh, my dad should have done this to me. My dad should have taught me. Sometimes the dads just got lucky, and that's why, they didn't really know what they were doing. So Do you know what I mean, Deersky? Um, so Audi uh says, "Hey Vic, can you describe what it feels like to go weak in the knees from a girl's perspective? I am endlessly fascinated by this feeling." Um, I'd say so, yeah. I think it kind of feels like you're kind of like the life is draining from your body a bit. Almost like you it's kind of like your muscles are tense, right? When you're just talking to someone. Well, mine are. I don't know if yours are. It's like just a normal level of tension, right? And then suddenly, some guy does something to you that kind of is what someone would describe as making you go weak in the knees. What that actually feels like, in my opinion, the way I experience it at least, is it's kind of like all the tension like drains from the muscles. So it's kind of like and kind of like this feeling goes like up into your head. And so it's almost like a you might think of like the feeling right before like you faint in a way, but it's like suddenly like you don't really have control of like your muscles anymore. And it's almost like your muscles are being paralyzed, or perhaps like the feeling like 1 second before you go under anesthesia or something like that. So it's kind of like you kind of become a bit like numb, lightheaded, weakened in the muscles. And I think, like, you kinda tap into this deeper, like, more primal part of the brain, because it's probably, like, it triggers, like, this primal mating instinct. So, I think at least that's, like if I was ever gonna describe something as I'm going weak in the knees, that's what I'm feeling. So, like, today, like, Beardo, he was just trying to be, romantic, and he was, like, fake, like, slapping me, and he was just like, "Oh, you little bitch," and he was trying to, like, push me up against the wall and stuff, and all of a sudden I feel it's like it's kinda like the juice, like, drains out of, like, my muscles, and I kinda, like, feel, like, light as a feather in the wind kind of feeling. So, is that a good enough explanation, Audie? I think it was pretty accurate, alright? Might not make sense, but that's accurately the feeling. Audie says, "You are an international treasure for helping men understand women so deeply." Oh, thank you so much, Audie, that is very kind. You like me, you really like me. Thank you so much, Audie. Brad Mondry says Nick Nag versus D for the World Female Gaze WFG Championship. Good one. Very good. Oh god. Hilarious. Oh, Kawhi. So he says, to answer your question, Victoria, I don't know how to escalate physically. I don't know how to initiate, and I'm too hesitant to. Okay, Kawhi, very quickly. We have discussed this on some other lives, but I can't expect people to watch all these lives. All right. First of all, are you on a date? I forgot. Or are you at like the club? Okay. Let's just say you're on a date, right? So you want to start with the socially appropriate touches, and you kind of want to slowly turn up the volume a little bit. So it's like, let's map it out. All right. On a level one, socially appropriate things, such as you meet her, you give her a hug. Okay. You say, "You look great. You look beautiful." You give her a hug, right? You're going into the bar. You like maybe you like put a hand on her back, or you put a hand on her shoulder, okay? Because it's like that's normal. That's stuff like touchy-feely adults do to other adults all the time, and everyone's just like, "Okay, like, I guess this is normal," right? Nobody gets upset, nobody gets annoyed if some person that you don't know gives you a hug. Like, not everyone does it, but if you do it, it's like, "Okay, nothing out of the norm here. I'm not, like, I'm not feeling unsafe." Like, they're a hugger, right? So then you get to the bar, right? And you're sitting down. Hopefully, you're not sitting across from each other, okay? Because that can be a bit more tricky, but there's ways to get around that, okay? Then you want to start the conversation, getting to know you. You want to throw in a few compliments in there about what she's saying. Not over the top, not a milady compliment, just like, oh, wow, I like your style, or, cool shoes, or I like those earrings, or, um, you know, wow, you're really smart. Just like little observation kind of compliments, or, um, you know, that's a cool hairstyle, or something like that. Like, you just want to throw in little comments. So it's a little bit more um familiar and a little bit more flirty than just the average person who shakes your hand and gives you a hug, right? But it's like you're getting to know each other, you're building trust, so you just amp it up a tiny bit. Okay. Now you're having a good time, you're having a good conversation, you're kind of like oiling the mechanism with some, nice compliments or whatever. Not overdoing it, just, simple, like, professional observational compliments, right? Then you might want to throw in another touch, like maybe you start talking about a video because you're having a good conversation. You make up the excuse, like, oh, let me show you this thing on my phone. You go around, pull up a chair, and now you're sitting next to her. Okay, maybe your arms are touching here. So on the side, it's like, okay, this is normal. It's a little touchy feely for, somebody, but it's still normal. We're just sitting next to each other, we're just touching. Okay. Then maybe she says something. You're still talking, you're still getting to know each other. Maybe she said something funny. You put your hand, like, on her thigh, like, that's funny. Just a little touch like that. Or maybe she has a bracelet that you like, and you're like, you just, like, kind of flirtily touch it, and you're like, oh, like, I like this, or whatever. You make up little excuses to touch her in socially appropriate ways. Okay. Maybe she has some lint on her sweater, and you pick off the lint. So it's just like these tiny little things, okay, that people do. It's a tiny bit flirty, but it's still socially acceptable. See, you're kind of slowly amping up the runway, right? Now, let's say, hopefully you've made this at a nighttime location that's like a bar that's dark, because these things help create chemistry, okay? It's very hard to create chemistry out of thin air at a coffee shop. So this is the right situation to escalate. So let's say, things are going really well. You order another drink and you try to kiss her right then in the bar. Okay. People do that all the time. You could do that. Okay. Because it's like slowly you flirted. Oh, another thing you could do before that is, if you're sitting next to each other, you could put her legs kind of like in your lap, and you could just talk. You don't rush it, but you just talk with her legs in her lap. Oh, I hear the baby crying, so I'm probably going to have to go. But basically, this is the idea, right? Then you kiss, then you make out, then you find some excuse to invite her back to your place. Then you sit next to her on the couch, you kiss again, you make out, you go to the bedroom, and possibly, she might be into having sex at that point. So yeah, that's I hope I did that one for you, Kawhi, because you deserve it. That's what you do. That's the thing. And all along, you want to make up little reasons to touch in a socially appropriate but slightly flirty, in increasing ways as the date goes on and you get to know each other and you build rapport and trust way. So, does that make sense? David says, oh, I gotta go, guys. But David says, this is the best channel on YouTube. Honest and useful information. You have a unique way of explaining things, Victoria. Thank you so much, David. I really appreciate that. Okay. Kawhi says, thanks. Guys, I really got to go. I can hear the little baby crying. So, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your super chats. I really appreciate you guys. And I will be back. Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks again.